Here. Welcome to Recollections May Vary, a royal recap. I am with Kevin O'Sullivan today. You watch us both on the Political Asylum with Kevin O'Sullivan, and we'll have plenty of Meghan stories for you in the future. But
did Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's Hollywood dream just turn into a royal disaster? With a reported $100 million Netflix deal in the balance, major projects have been scrapped. Critics are slamming their content, and now there are rumors that Netflix is having second thoughts. What went so wrong?
we had to get together today to digest what we just witnessed, Kevin. I don't from hawking the balloon, like the balloon inflator, to starting, like, you start off by making bath salts. Where do we begin with what just happened? I mean, what just happened? That's a Kevin line.
Exactly. I mean, my initial response to this is I'm genuinely stunned by how boring it is. I mean, it breaks new ground in tedium. I mean, I'm not particularly ever going to be the kind of target market for this sort of show. But, you know, I can appreciate a decent cooking, gardening type show if it's presented by experts, if it's edited and directed by people who know how to make television programs. I don't know what's going on with this, but that was shockingly dull. I mean, after about 9 minutes, I'm thinking, is she going to get out of the kitchen? Are we going to see anything else? I mean, we saw a few bees at the outset, but apart from that, the whole thing was in the kitchen of the first episode. She's making food for one of her employees, you know, a member of staff. How special is that? Poor old Daniel had to make sort of candles and things like that. But, you know, I've said this to you before, Kinsey. Somewhere down the line, Meghan took a bucket full of boring pills. And she doesn't seem to be able to do anything that isn't just strikingly dreary. And that's exactly what this series is.
I guess that's exactly the kind of lifestyle, though, I would expect for an unemployed princess. I mean, to just be able to sit around and do all that. Like, who has time to do half of that?
Yeah, well,
I don't.
Well, that's the other ludicrous element of it. That Netflix put this forward saying, oh, people are going to watch this and they're going to want to make the recipes and the candles and all of that. No, they're not. No, they're not, because we've all got a thing called a life. We haven't got time to do all of this nonsense. And the other element of it was that really struck me as well. I don't know what you thought, Kinsey, but she came across as someone who's not actually very good at all of this stuff. She's okay. You know, the cake was average. I think I could have done a better job of the cake. It was a real mess. You know, he kept saying, it's the beautiful inside cake. Yeah, but it's the ugly outside cake. And, you know, who the hell has got time to melt beeswax and turn it into candles? And by the way, in case you haven't got your own beehives, did you notice her turning around and saying, you can get beeswax from your local beekeeper? Well, do you know where I live?
Stay tuned, because today we're exposing the truth behind Meghan Markle's Netflix failure. But first, if you love deep dives into celebrity drama and royal controversies, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Back in 2020, Meghan and Harry signed a jaw-dropping deal with Netflix. The royal rebels promised impactful storytelling. But so far, where is it?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have beekeepers where I live.
Kevin,
we have gangs. We have gangs and criminals.
Exactly. During that scene, doesn't she say, we've been doing this for a year now? And then she turns around and asks him what their lifespan is. And he's like, a couple days or whatever. I don't remember what he said. But she's like, 4 weeks. And she's like, if you've been doing this for a year, aren't you noticing that, like, some of these guys are kicking the bucket? Like, I don't understand.
And let me ask you.
There's just nothing authentic about this.
I know, exactly. And I love the line, Daniel, at the end when they sit down. This is at the end of the first episode. And I've watched a bit of a few of the others, but I couldn't bear with it for too long. It was just too much. But they sat down at the end with their tea that she's made, which looked disgusting, and that ugly cake. And he goes, the view. Oh, look at that view. And I'm thinking, well, that's not the view from Meghan's house, because that's not her house. And then he said, I mean, you'd have thought the editors might have cut this out. He goes, I feel like this is all so fake. And it's like, yeah, Daniel, you're not the only one.
You're observant.
I mean, seriously, yeah, you got that right, Daniel. The whole thing stank of fakery. But you'd think that she might be better at all this stuff. What is the point of telling us how to put a piece of pasta, a load of pasta, or pasta as they say in the States, into a pot, and a load of vegetables, a bit of cheese, and then boiling it up, and then serving it? What's the point of telling us that? I mean, it's like student cooking, one pot cooking.
Exactly, or like the fact that she invented putting frosting in a plastic bag and use instead of buying like a sandwich bag.
This is my hack.
Yeah, like
that's not a hack.
No. So I think, tell me if you felt this way too while you were watching it. I felt like one of the themes is Meghan has thought of everything. Meghan has thought of everything. Like when they're sitting in the they're sitting in the tea venue that they've set up for the tea party with Mindy Kaling. Mm-hmm. And Meghan's like, do you see the way that I stemmed the balloon garden around the door or something like that? And Mindy Kaling is like, yeah, like what I got from that is Meghan thought of it. Meghan's thought of everything. Yeah. But we know,
and just in case you didn't notice, she's going to point it out, just in case you didn't notice.
Exactly. But we know factually that that's not true. And one giant example of that is American Riviera Orchard, which clearly they intended to subtly push because there are a lot of preserves. She talks about jam. What's the difference between jam and preserves? She talks about the process of making it. Like, that was one thing that I did feel was a theme throughout, probably with the intention of selling American Riviera Orchard jam or whatever, inevitably. Now it has to be as ever. But did you get that sense too? Like Meghan, not Meghan the know-it-all, because that would be rude. It was more like Meghan is just Meghan the clever girl.
Aside from their self-focused docuseries and a few minor projects, the couple hasn't exactly delivered blockbuster content. And Netflix? Well, they're all about numbers. If something isn't bringing in views, they cut it loose. And that's exactly what's happening. One of Meghan's big projects was an animated series called Following a Young Girl Inspired by Powerful Women in History.
Yeah, she's trying to give the impression that she does all this stuff off the hoof very lightly. Oh, someone's coming over. I've made a frittata. Oh, I've done this.
Bath salts.
Yeah. What was that about, by the way? Which said, I'm never modest. I'm not known for being modest with the bath salts.
Yeah, could you not imagine me naked in your bathroom? Yeah.
I mean, and seriously, Kinsey, to go back to your other point, who the hell does that? I'm going to fill this entire container. I mean, old Daniel is going to drown in salt, isn't it? And and then that massive, great sort of container she made of flowers and God knows what, that I love to prep the guest room. And then she makes the mistake of saying, I'm going to take this home now. Because actually, Daniel isn't staying there. That's the studio. That's the house she's rented. Then they're going to go back and he's going to stay at their place in Montecito. So there's that fake line underlying the whole program. And she keeps saying, at one point she actually says, this is not my real home. Well, you should keep that to yourself, Meghan, because...
I heard that twice, I think.
Yeah, it kind of undermines the program, doesn't it?
It does. Have you ever seen somebody eat so many damn fake or edible? They're not fake. They're just edible flowers. I don't find it necessary to put as many petals or whatever as that woman put on absolutely every single thing.
Yeah. And then she called it art. It's art. Like saying to Daniel, when you do your art, this is like my art. And she finishes by putting a couple of, as you say, edible flowers on top of the vegetables that she's just sliced up very, very badly. Did you notice, by the way, You know, I mean, I'm not expecting her to be a sort of professional standard chef, but maybe a little bit better than she is. So, you know, when TV chefs are chopping, you know, they do that, always very impressive. Now, I'm not expecting her to do that, but she's like this. I mean, she's really, really bad at chopping. Frankly, she doesn't look to me like she's a particularly good chef, a particularly good cook, which again is strange considering the nature of this show. And who the hell does go to that length to prepare salts, bath salts, flowers, and God, that huge tray full of stuff to put all over Daniel's room? I mean, then there's that point where she says, we've now got 4 hours while the candles set. Let's spend 3 to 4 hours making a cake. And you think, why don't you two get a life? So Daniel says, sort of shrugs his shoulder, and she goes to him, well, what are you going to do for the next 3 or 4 hours? Well, he's going to sit there and watch you make the cake because he's on the payroll, isn't he? He's being paid to do that. Another line of fakery. Did you like Harry's appearance early in episode 2? Well, it wasn't an appearance. It was his voice.
Yeah, blink and you'll miss Prince Harry. I mean, honestly, it was so...
Sounds great, right? Wrong. Netflix canceled the show before it even got off the ground. Why? Insiders say it was a combination of budget cuts and, let's be honest, lack of industry buzz. Meghan's Hollywood magic just wasn't working. Viewer backlash. Are people losing interest?
Disappointing, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you, to me, it's like that's what's interesting about Meghan Markle to me is her husband, who she married, and the proximity she is to the British royal family. And that is why she holds on, come hell or high water, to that Sussex name. Yeah. Not because it makes her feel more connected to her children. No matter, you know, I know that that was what her excuse was, but I just felt like that was a missed opportunity not to include Prince Harry, because she is so fixated on her life before him. And why not show us how you incorporate your old life with your new life? Yeah.
And did you notice her great friend Mindy, who said something completely innocent, like, I never thought I'd see Meghan Markle doing that. And Meghan goes, it's so funny you should say Meghan Markle. That's not my name, it's Sussex. Sussex! We're called Sussex! You know, and it's like, what are you talking about? That's not your name. Your name is Markle, Meghan Markle. But to slap down
it's what we talked about this before. She tries to see, she is either so vanilla and so bland, playing it safe because she's desperate not to create a headline that she, you know, that's where she could be the villain. Yeah. Or she tries to explain away rumors about herself that she doesn't like. And to me, another example of that was the way she broke the fourth wall and kept talking to the people off camera, making them little treats, making them coffee, because she wants us to think, well, surely somebody that would be so sweet to the crew on her television show that are all wearing microphones and cameras because like documenting the entire thing. Surely somebody that would be so sweet would not be a dictator in heels. The Hollywood Reporter has to be wrong. A lot of this feels like her going above and beyond to try to change the narrative without blatantly sitting down, doing what they call a confessional in reality TV and trying to talk away which is actually what Hilaria Baldwin does in her new reality show, The Baldwins, and it works. I mean, she's lying when she talks about her English and Spanish. I know she's lying, but there's something so much more intimate about her sitting down talking to you specifically on the other side of the TV than Meghan trying to manipulate us into thinking she's this other version of herself by talking to some guy off camera.
Yeah, but I thought that it's actually quite a key moment with Mindy. This is Meghan using this program to deliver for what for her is a very important message, and that is, I am no longer Meghan Markle. I am Meghan Sussex. And that is a way, it's another way, she's been doing this for a long time, divorcing herself from her own past. Again, part of the fraudulent nature of this program, the reason this series, this 8-part series, by the way, nobody told me it was going to be 40 minutes an episode. I thought I was going to get away with half an hour, but my God. But she's used this program. She's already divorced her family, the Markles. But she's used this program to enshrine that divorce, to say, from now on, I am Meghan Sussex. And the way she says it, it's so funny the way you say Meghan Markle. I'm actually Meghan Sussex. It's like, it's not funny. It's your name. It's your name. She says it as if Mindy's dropped some kind of incredible howler, made a terrible mistake. No. You're Meghan Markle, the lighting man's son from Los Angeles. Son, the lighting man's daughter. I was
say, I don't know what you know, but I want the details.
I'm bringing in a new conspiracy theory there. No, you're Meghan Markle, the lighting man's daughter from Los Angeles. And don't you forget it. I mean, she's trying to be this big I am member of the royal family.
Let's talk numbers. Meghan and Harry's Netflix docuseries had an explosive debut, but viewership dropped fast. And the reviews? Mixed at best. Some viewers felt it was too much self-promotion, not enough substance. Others just weren't interested in yet another tell-all from the royal couple. And when you lose your audience, Netflix notices.
I mean, she's never really been accepted over here in Britain as a proper royal, because she isn't one. And I don't know whether Americans are buying into it, but she clearly demands that they do. She's not Meghan Sussex, she's Meghan Markle.
Yeah, we've talked about that a million times, trying to rewrite history.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I'm Meghan Sussex. It's funny, Mindy Kaling, that you're wrong about something
So
when
funny.
you have never announced that that's what you want to go by. When you're on the cover of People magazine, you're conveniently the Duchess of Sussex or Meghan, but we've never heard about this. There's been no formal announcement, and she's so keen to formally announce everything else, at least on her Instagram these days. One thing I kind of clashed with someone on about this morning was I complained that we have such shorter attention spans today, and Meghan is executing things that you could truly execute in a 30-second TikTok video. And I didn't understand the point of expanding it into half an hour, 45 minutes, when, you could make that rainbow platter in a 30 to 60-second TikTok video with little to no of all of the drama that she brings. Do you agree with me that this is not an innovative layout template that she's utilizing for this show, that it's almost backwards?
Is Netflix losing faith in Meghan and Harry? So here's the big question. Does Netflix regret signing Meghan and Harry? Industry insiders say the couple's deal isn't guaranteed forever. If they don't bring in successful projects soon, Netflix could quietly step away. And let's be real, Hollywood is all about results. No results, no deal. What's next for Meghan and Harry? So what's next? Can Meghan Markle and Prince Harry turn things around, or is their Hollywood dream fading fast? Let us know what you think in the comments. Are they victims of industry politics, or did they overpromise and underdeliver? And if you love keeping up with the latest celebrity and royal drama, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this story is far from over.